Hello YouTube, it's Louise the Big Head Bookworm. Lovely to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day. Whatever it is you're doing and wherever it is you're doing it. I hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to Tuesday Knit Group. How lovely to see you. Come in, sit down. Grab yourself a seat wherever you may. I can move some stuff if somebody wants to come and sit next to me. That would be lovely. I shall move my stuff over that I've got here. I've just got it next to me so that I can remember to talk about it if I get to it. We do like to chat in this group. So yes, I have tea and coffee out in the kitchen. I've opened up a bottle of wine. Should anybody fancy a little tipple? Help yourself. There's all the different types: green tea and chai latte. There's quite an array there. I've also, to make up for the fact that I haven't been here for a couple of weeks, I have made some of the special recipe homemade shortbread. It's my mum's recipe, and she did give the recipe out to people, but I don't know whether she did it on purpose, but it actually featured one or two mistakes, and it was only because it was when she was actually quite poorly, she talked me through it. And you should see all the amendments I've made to the recipe, and I'm the only one that can actually make the shortbread like she used to make it. So I actually am the holder of the secret recipe. And so I've made some of that. It is the best shortbread in the world. So that's out there for you. I've also got some hot cross buns. Traditional. I saw in several supermarkets that they're doing fancy hot cross bun recipe. No, I'm sorry. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, what's happening here? My hair's gone all funny. Salted caramel and chocolate chip cross buns? I don't think so. I don't think that's just not right. It's traditional for me. Currants and the flour paste cross. Thank you very much. Rather than all this fanciness. Making things too fancy, that's what I think we're doing. So yes, hello. So that's to welcome you back. Take a seat wherever you want. I've lit us a candle. I've lit us two candles. I've got a normal candle. This is one the husband bought me actually. Coconut and almond, I think it is. And I've lit us a yellow candle, so you can see the yellow candle there. That is for creativity, being a knit group, and confidence, concentration, also good for a knit group. And integrity, which is an interesting one, and it would be for that, because I think that's more us being ourselves, us being honest with each other, having a space to be honest with each other, which I think is rather lovely. So I felt drawn towards yellow today. So that's all the intention that I set. So each time I light a candle for our group, I take a moment and really concentrate and settle into the moment. So I hope it feels welcoming for you, and that you know that you are at home here, and everyone is welcome and is at home here. So it's been a couple of weeks since I've been here. I hadn't intended to take a little break. It wasn't anything particular, I would say. It was just lots of things. It was lots of things that were drawing my attention, and I didn't want to just show up and not be attentive and actually be present and be here with you. If you care to read the comments of the last video, I'm not going to read them out. They're beautiful, really people communicating how they feel about grief and the discussion of grief and sharing their stories. So yes, please read those. They were lovely. And it shows what a lovely group we have, that people are willing to openly talk about that kind of thing. I think it's really important. I have had, I'll be honest, I had one or two down days. I'm not somebody that has down days. I was very affected. Cat walks in. I was very affected by the shooting that happened in New Zealand, which I spoke about on Friday Reads. And it really did make me feel quite down. It also, oh, hello. My cat, Indy's just come in. Here he is. Yeah, he's going to come and talk. He's going to come and talk too. That's nice. So, Oh, he's his mummy's cat. You can tell, can't you? This is what we do. We sit here, and he loves me, and I love his tummy. There we go. There we go. And he strokes my hair. That's the other thing. You're going to distract me. Yes. Was I going to say? Yes, I had sciatica in November, December time, and I was put on a tablet, a nerve blocker, and it made me very dopey. Oh, thank you. Made me very dopey in the mornings particularly, but I noticed what it did was it kind of levelled my mood, and I hated it. I hated feeling like my mood had altered, and so I've been trying to. So I took less of it until I was on the smallest dose, while still getting the benefit of having the nerve blocker, and yes, I have been taking it, trying to come off it, weaning myself off it. But my concern was, the last thing I wanted to do was to get the sciatica pain back, because that was so debilitating. Any of those kind of nerve conditions, oh my word. If you suffer from it, oh my word, you have all my sympathy. Yeah, it was awful, wasn't it? Yes. So, cat in hair. Yes, I know. And I had come off it for an entire week, and I felt so much better in myself. And then I started getting a little bit of the pain back, and so I'd had to go back on the tablet. And actually going back on it really affected me, really affected how I felt. And I just thought, no, I am going to come off it completely, no matter what the pain is. I'm just not happy about being on this tablet, didn't I? And I've come off it completely, and I feel so much better. And I haven't had any of the nerve pain. So cross fingers, cross legs, cross everything. I'm hoping that I'm past that now, and I don't need to be on it. And I feel so much brighter in myself. Let me just count my stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's fine. So that's really good. So I feel so much better. And that's given me more energy to come and do this kind of thing. So yeah, so that's been going on. What else has been going on? Benedict, my 10-year-old son, has been in a drama performance that has necessitated many rehearsals. So he's in drama. He does the junior drama, but it's actually a dance academy. So the vast majority of the girls that go there are all doing tap and modern hip hop, which is unlike any other hip hop that I've ever seen in my entire life. And what else were they doing? Ballet. Oh, the ballet was beautiful, actually. Ooh, a bit of sparkling water. So yeah, it was a performance. Let me move that. So that's the cat. No. Oh, okay. That's right. So it was hocus pocus is what they were doing, and there was like the small little drama bits cut in between with all these dances, because the dances were for people's grading. So whether or not you have to do a performance to be part of the grading, or it's just you work towards something, so you might as well perform it, and they weave it all in, sometimes successfully, sometimes the dance makes no sense with the performance, but it didn't matter anyway. So got these little, so it comes from pre-primary, so 3 and 4-year-olds, all the way up to look like 14-year-olds. I don't think they looked older than that, but I think it's from kind of very small to kind of teenage. And Benedict doesn't do the dance and is not interested in the dance. It's all girls apart from about 4 lads, and like 250 girls, and then kind of 4 lads. of various ages. There was another boy from his school who is a year younger, but they're friends, and that was great. So they were able to kind of be together. And Benedict was only in one scene, but he was in all 4 performances, and so had to go to all the rehearsals. And he had this time, and he was there for the drama, but actually what they ended up doing was a kind of drama stroke dance, which he was brilliant. He really threw himself in. I wouldn't say he's a natural dancer in any way, shape or form, but he had full commitment, and he did his bit. Oh, it was so lovely. But heartbreaking, just seeing these little 4 or 5-year-olds come on and do their dance quite badly, but with such enthusiasm and such commitment, and enjoying every single second that they're doing it, whether they got it right or got it wrong. Oh, I was in tears so many times. But anyway, we had the performance on Sunday, but we had to take him here, we had to take him there, we had to pick him up there, and so there seemed to be an awful lot of trying to organise that last week. This week, we've got none of it. Such a relief, such a relief. What else have we had? We seem to have had lots of different things. I've had to do this and do that, but it's all been fine. It's all been good. Just a question of doing it. So I missed you, and it's been lovely because people have commented on Instagram and said, "Would you come back?" And I was like, "Of course." It was just so nice. So I shall leave my Instagram down below. If you're into Instagram, come and say hi. That would be lovely. I can get to know you. Please use the hashtag Tuesday Knit Group, and you can follow a hashtag on Instagram so that I get to see the pictures of everything you're doing. Let me make sure I'm actually in the right thing. I think, have I done that wrong? That's in the right space. No, that's fine. Anyway, right. What am I working on? Let's talk about what I finished. Put that down, get myself comfortable. Yes. Oh, by the way, can you tell I've got the light box on? It's better, isn't it? It's a more natural colour. I'm going to actually have to take this off because I've gone hot. Bear with, 1 second. You don't get this kind of thing in other podcasts, do you? You don't get somebody talking through their hair while they struggle to take off their cardigan. No. Other people would cut that out. Not me. So, yeah. I've got the light box on so I can sit here because it gives me a more natural colour. However, it is a little bit like looking in the sun. So it is a diffused light, and it is supposed to replicate sunlight, but not direct sunlight. So it's not bad. If you look in my eyes, you can tell that there is a light because you can see the light. However, it's not a ring light because you can see people that have ring lights. You see a ring in their eyes, but you can't see that. You can just see a light. But it is quite a natural light. But it gives it this darker corner. It means I'm able to sit here. Here we go. So this is it. This is my Amulet shawl that I was knitting on before. So let me take it off. That's how I wear triangular shawls and crescent shawls, actually. This is my most this is my preferred way of doing it. Because then you can get the pattern, whatever that pattern is, you can kind of flow that down your chest. And then I do that, and then I like it kind of is around my neck, but it's not choking me. And this is kind of draping down, so I feel warm without kind of feeling over warm. Being of that age where I can, at a sudden moment, go over warm. And I have to say, this last week, I've been doing really well. I hadn't been having any of the night sweats. Talking about power surges, as my friend tells me I have to call them. Not hot flushes. They're not hot flushes, Louise. Power surges. Okay. Feels the same, let's be honest. I feel like I'm charged up and could power a small town, but it's a power surge, not a hot flush. So as I've been doing really well, and I have been having them at night. I have them at 7 o'clock in the evening. Literally 7 o'clock in the evening. At 6:58, I start taking off layers because I know in a moment I'm going to be super hot. The other day I had all the heat from here up, which is nice because I go nice red and blotchy. It's a good look. Red and blotchy from there up, and 1 foot. I was like, why is that foot? I felt like wanted to put myself into the plug, and I'd have siphoned it off. Bizarre. Normally I get both feet, but it was just 1 foot. I had a friend who got them in her hands and was be like, I've got the hottest hands in the world. What do I do with them? I'm like, you've got a hot flush, love. That's what that is. So at any moment, I've been having them in the evening. We're waking up in the night going, oh, is it just me, or is it like we're trying to sleep inside the sun? That's a nice feeling, isn't it? Anyway, I don't know what I'd eaten that set that off. Anyway, so let's go back to what I was talking about. It's my Amulet shawl. So here we go. It's slightly greener than it's showing. Can I get it close? There we are. No, it's slightly greener than that. But yes, this is the Amulet shawl by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. I knit it on a long circular needle, 100 centimetre circular needle. I used 4.5mm higher sharps from my interchangeable set. And I used Tealicious. This the colourway is called Tealicious, and it is by Babbles Travelling Yarn, who is Grace O'Neill, or Van Wilmemill. I can't remember what her Instagram name is, but she's called Grace, and she's got a Babbles Travelling Yarn or Travelling podcast. Can't remember the title. She's very well known, and she does have this independent handmade, hand-dyed business, hand-dyed yarn. I used 2 skeins. I have about, it's actually upstairs, so I'll show you approximately what I've got left. I haven't got it down here, but no, I've got about that much, but perhaps a bit more than that left. I would say about 30 to 40 grams left out of 200. I went up a needle size because I think you're supposed to do it on 3.5 or 4, and I went up to 4.5 because I'm a tight knitter, which means my gauge, I knit smaller than if I used the same needle as the pattern suggests, it would become smaller. And I want a big floppy flowy shawl, as this is. It's very long. It's longer than it is deep. I think I would prefer it to be deeper rather than longer because it is super long. So it's longer than my arm span. You do garter, eyelets, rib, and then edging. I went off with my eyelets, but I'd have to show you. If you stared at it long enough, you'd work out where I've gone wrong, but I don't really care about that. My ribbing and my border, I actually got spot on, but I had 8 extra stitches. How did I do that? I don't know. So it should go down to a point, and mine does that. So it should be knees together. Mine is slightly apart. So instead of having one long bit there, mine kind of goes out a bit side, but who is going to notice? I blocked it, but I didn't aggressively block it, and so the ends are curling up a little bit, but I'm not worried about that. So I wear it like, as I showed you, but you can also wear it the traditional scarf way, like that, shawl way, like that, something like that. Many people have different ways of wearing scarves, and many people wear them better than I do, but this is the way I'm going to choose to wear it at this moment. So this is it. So this is my Amulet shawl. I'm super pleased with it. It's merino and bamboo, if I remember rightly, the wool, and it is softening as I'm wearing it. It felt pretty soft to start with, and then after I blocked it, it was noticeably softer. And then, if I remember rightly with bamboo, the more you wear it, the softer it gets. It's like hemp. So if ever you buy or use hemp, it feels quite stiff. The plant fibres feel quite stiff, but the more you wear them, the softer they get until they are buttery soft. I've worn hemp before, lots of times. I really like it. It's very breathable, actually. It's hemp, so it's probably a good time of my life to get back into wearing hemp. Actually, it's very breathable. It's very comfortable, and it softens beautifully. It's pretty hard wearing as well. So that's hemp's good for socks. Actually, I've never knitted with it. I don't know what it's like to knit with, but to wear, it can feel not that. You think, well, that's not going to be very good, but it does give tremendously. So yes, I'm noticing with this, just wearing it out and about, I've noticed it started to soften straight away. So this is it. It's bigger than my previous Amulet shawl by quite a bit. I think that's probably because I went up a needle size. And also I was conscious that I didn't want to knit tight. So I kept trying to loosen my gauge. How successfully, I don't know. So yes, isn't that beautiful though? Isn't it lovely? I managed to get all of this right and coordinate down with how the points are supposed to go, which I didn't do last time. And it really showed me how actually revisiting a pattern from doing it, I did it, it's not that long ago, you see. It's November and December 2017 was when I knit my other version of that, and in just that short amount of time, my ability to read a pattern, my ability to know what it should look like and what should follow, and also to be able to read the knitting on the needles, I've got so much better at that. I could see if I'd gone wrong how to alter it so that I'd go back on track. I tell you what I still can't do, pick up lace. If I went wrong in the lace section, heaven help me, I cannot rip back and pick up lace. That's a skill that's beyond me at the moment. You'd have to be, that's just a knitting level I cannot do, but yes, but here I am. But there, look at that, doesn't it look pretty? Can you see that there? It's lovely, really lovely. So this is my current shawl of choice, actually. This is the one I'm wearing. So previously I've always been wearing my bright pink one, and now I'm wearing this one. I do like to wear dark. I do tend to wear dark colours. I'll talk about that a bit later on, actually, if I get time. I do like my dark. I tend to gravitate towards wearing dark, and then put a pop of colour with it. And this is my current pop of colour, and I really like it. So I'm very pleased with that. So yay, finished object. Yes, I should put that there. So what have I been working on? Let me show you what this is. Let me show you the right way around. So this is crochet. So crochet, you use a hook, not a needle, and I'm using this Prim 4. So for example, this is a crochet blanket, and I'm working on another crochet blanket. I've got several crochet blankets in the go, but the one I'm working on at the moment is the Meadow pack from Wool Warehouse, patterned by Attic24, by Lucy of Attic24. And the last time I worked on that a lot, I managed to get slight repetitive strain injury or tendonitis, but I managed to irritate the nerves in my thumb, and so my thumb would actually at night would feel like it's kind of buzzing, and kind of I found I had a kind of a nasty twitch. It only happened when I went to bed, but it was kind of like, and I thought, I'm overworking this thumb, and it's from doing all the crochet, because that's the action that I had. And I was using metal pony hooks, and it was doing lots of the same stitch. It was a repetitive strain basically. So somebody actually did say, why don't you get an ergonomic hook rather than using the very slim pony hooks? And I was like, yeah, I've tried them before, but they've never been comfortable. However, I picked this one up because it was the 4 hook that I first saw, and I thought, oh, I'll try it, and it's lovely, and it hasn't been affecting my thumb at all, so I might have a look to see if I can get more of this kind. But this is what I'm working on. I'm working on 2 crochet projects at the moment. I shall show you the other one, but look at this. So this is a baby blanket, and the pattern is by Little Doolally. I cannot remember the name of the lady. No, I don't know what she's called. Let me have a look. See if I can just grab my phone. Bear with. Have another hot cross bun. I haven't printed the pattern out. It's just on my phone. Put you there so you can see it. So I saw this on Instagram, and I thought, what a pretty pattern. I don't come on. My phone is now not responding. Try that again. Bear with. There we go. Oh, for a brief moment it did it. So this is the Bertie baby blanket by Little Doolally Crochet Patterns, and it doesn't give her name. Oh, grr. Let's see if I go right to the end, maybe it will say her name. No. No. Anyway. No, Little Doolally. Anyway, I saw a picture of it on Instagram under Little Doolally. Somebody must have reposted it or something, and I thought that is lovely. I do like that pattern. What I liked was, get close, this white bit here, this stitch, and it's called a spike. So it's a spike crochet stitch. And I love the effect it gives. So it looks kind of, I don't know, like pebble stones or something like that. Isn't it lovely? That's actually this is a deep purple rather than a black. It's coming up black or navy. It's actually more deep purple. Can you see? Hold that up. Maybe there you go. More deep purple than navy or black. And I need to do a baby blanket, or I need to do a couple of baby things for my sister-in-law's stepson's girlfriend's having a baby. So this is my husband's sister. Her husband, when they got together, had separated from, and actually divorced his first. Were they? I don't know whether they actually were married. No, he was married, but they hadn't been together. They hadn't been married long, and they had a 3-year-old little boy. And so when my sister-in-law, they met and they got together, he had a 3-year-old son, and so she's basically been mum for all that amount of time, and he is incredibly fond of her. I mean, he is like her son. They have 2 daughters as well, but she loves him, and his girlfriend is having their first baby, and she is absolutely over the moon. She loves babies and children. She's so lovely with Benedict, my sister-in-law. She just is, she has the biggest heart of anybody I know. and as has he actually. As a couple, they are just so lovely, and they're thrilled. They're thrilled they're going to be grandparents, because the one thing she was saying, her second daughter's going off to university, and she was like, and I was just thinking, do you know what I could really do with? I could really do with a baby. she's in her mid to late 50s, and I could really do with a baby. That would jolly me up. And then she said, and then we found out we're going to be grandparents, and she was saying that she was walking along and she saw somebody pushing a pram, and she thought, oh, that's going to be me soon. I'm going to be pushing a pram. I mean, they are going to be the most loving grandparents ever. The little baby's going to be very blessed indeed. But she doesn't craft in any way, shape or form. In any way, shape or form. She has many, many skills. Crafting is not one of them. So when she told me about it, I went, oh, would you mind if I perhaps made a couple of... And she was like, oh, would you? And she said, can you leave them unwrapped, and so I can wrap them, pretend they're from me? And I know she won't do that, but I might send them unwrapped anyway, so that she can see them. But she's really stylish, and so I thought I won't do traditional colours because she's not that kind of lady, and her stepson is not that kind of man. So I don't know the sex of the baby, but I'm doing different colours. I did consider just doing like a rainbow, white with rainbow. But then I had these lovely purples, and then the only thing is I wish that grey was lighter. I did have a silver, and I wish I'd done a silver instead of the grey. But I had enough of the grey, which I didn't have enough of the silver. But there we are. I've got enough of all these colours. So this is the little Doolally pattern. It looks lovely from the back. One thing about crochet is you can normally tell front from back, like knitting, but that's the back. So it still is nice. It hasn't got the spike stitch. Can you see? You do it over the front. That's the spike stitch. This one here that makes the kind of the pebbles. It's a front only stitch, so it's not over at the back, but you get this kind of nice wave. So it's still pretty at the back. Not too bad, quite neat. I don't know if that's neat or not actually, but it looks okay. I have a gazillion ends which I need to sew in. I like sewing in ends, so I shall do another 5 or 6 rows and then have a mass sew in, and it will be edged, so it will get a neater edging than it has at the moment. But isn't it lovely? I am using Stylecraft is the yarn brand. I am using Special DK, which is 100% acrylic, which is what this is. It does soften with use. You can put it in the washing machine, you can put it in the dryer. Softens with use, is very hard wearing, and so for somebody with a baby, that is my priority. Those are my shades. I didn't have the ball bands on them, so I'm afraid I can't tell you. That's Wisteria. I know that's Wisteria. That is just known as grey. I can't remember the other two. I was using a white, just the standard white, but I've run out, and so I have picked up some other white acrylic I have, and so far I don't think you can tell where I changed. Well, you can, because I've got the line there. Go that away. Yeah, I don't think you can tell. It's a DK, and this is Hey Baby from Knitcraft, which is by Hobbycraft, which is our big crafting chain shop. Hobbycraft. Is it like Joanna's in the States? But it's like it's the big crafting warehouse shops. So they come in 50-gram balls. I had that and that. So I may have to get some more. I don't think I'm going to have enough, but I shall try. What's that? Probably 70 grams. See how far I get. I think sorry, I just bumped you. I haven't caught your leg there. I think it's going to want me to edge in white, so I might not be edging in white. I might be edging in Wisteria, in the purple, because I have loads of that, so that's what I might do. So there we go. Isn't that lovely? And not hurting my thumb at all. Woohoo! Everything's a winner for this one. So yes, I'm keeping it in this bag if you are at all interested. Oh, this is my here we are. This was the other one I was using. Yeah, that's just a metal hook, so you can see the difference. Can I find my other? Where have I put my hook? Oh, I've flung my hook somewhere. Let me sort my bag out. That was this was my tester for the pattern. I showed the husband, I said, what do you think? He went, well, not in those colours. It's like, okay then. I'm keeping it in my Debbie Bliss Harris Tweed project bag because it's the right colour, basically. Let me just wind all these balls up and hopefully find my needle, my hook along the way. That's fine. There we go. Now then, there it is. So you can see the difference between the hook. So I normally use that kind of hook. So it's rounder and it's the where you hold it in your thumb makes it easier, but it's very comfortable, completely comfortable, and isn't hurting my thumb at all. So I'm very pleased with that. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. It is a paid for pattern that I got through Etsy, I think, not Ravelry. She has quite a lot. She's a English pattern designer, and she does mainly, if not all, crochet. So that's how I do apologise for not having her name, but the pattern is the Bertie baby blanket, and she's little Doolally. So that's that. So I'm really enjoying that. The baby's due May 31st. First baby, probably going to be late. Do we not always say that? Whether it's true or not, I don't know. Babies come when babies are ready to come. Let's be honest. That's babies come when they want to come, no matter what we think. My friend's just had a grandchild, her 4th grandchild, and 2 weeks overdue. Was due to be induced at 9 o'clock on the Friday morning, born at 8 o'clock on the Friday morning. Baby was coming when baby wanted. Baby Ellie was coming when baby Ellie wanted, not when anybody else was wondering. My son was due on the 6th and he was born on the 14th. And so he came when he wanted. And actually his birthday's coming up. He's going to be 11. April's big month. Husband's turning a significant number. Yeah, 21. No, that'll be off. No, the husband's turning a significant number this year. Benedict's turning 11. How can my son be 11? So yeah, and we're getting him a SIM card. He's got one of the husband's old phones, which he uses to watch YouTube and play like Angry Birds and those kind of games. And all of his friends have got phones with SIM cards, which means that they can, of course, text and phone each other. And we've resisted this. However, we have now got him a SIM card for his birthday. And so I'm very cruelly saying things like, well, maybe we'll think about it for the summer holidays. And he's like, oh, but everybody's got one. I'm like, well, I know, but I'm not sure, Benedict, whether you should have one. He's going to be thrilled. What a cruel mother I am. Anyway, what else have you been working on, chatty woman? Oh, my word. This is what I've been working on. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. This is my Kaleidoscope Mandela. I love this centre bit. I absolutely love the centre bit. It's actually coming up really well. Look at that. So this is a Kaleidoscope Mandela. It is to be a big spiral. So can you see that the blue, that's a good example. The blue is going, is twisting round, and it will twist round, and then it has tassels on the end. It is 130 centimetres, I think it's going to end up being. So all the way around, of course, it being a circle. It is made out of Cahlista is the name of the yarn. That's the brand. No, I'm not going to try. I'm not going to insult all the Dutch people out there by trying to pronounce that. I will get a pronunciation, and I will. Next week, I will try and pronounce it. But there we are. It comes in 50-gram balls. This is double gassed cotton. No idea what that means. You're supposed to use a 4.5 to 5 hook. The pattern said 5.5. So we are using a big hook for it. Can I find my big hook? It should be in here somewhere. Here it is. Now I don't have an ergonomic one for this, so I am just using a metal one. It's not hurting me that much. I think it's because it's not repetitive, because the variety of stitches, as you can see, there's a lot of different types of stitches and some interesting stitches, hence those. I mean, they're interesting, aren't they? Looks a bit funny. But yes, so it's cotton. Difference between using wool as a yarn and cotton as a yarn. So wool is a fleece yarn, so it comes from an animal. So you can get merino or sheep's wool or dog wool. No, you can get all the alpaca and what have you. Those are wools. And then yarn, you can get plant fibre yarns, cotton, for example, linen, hemp, bamboo. So yarn is the overarching, and then you get wool and you get all the other types. So somebody says they knit with wool. You can get plastics, which is acrylic. So wool, people use wool interchangeably with yarn. To be precise, yarn is the overarching, and then there's all the different types. How you feel about how precise people have to be is your own personal way. I don't mind. As far as I'm concerned, we'll get there eventually, and it'll be fun along the way to do it. But that's my way. Some people are very particular, and you have to decide where you are. I'm all for just getting on with people. So there we go. That's what we're doing. So it's using cotton. It doesn't give. It doesn't give in the same way. Wool, even like an acrylic yarn and a wool, has more flex to it, has a bit more kind of give about it. This does not. Cotton does not have any give whatsoever when you're working with it. So you have to be a little bit more precise. The yarn itself is many-stranded as well, which is both a delight and a pin in the bum, if I'm honest with you. Another cat come in. Hello, Molly. Hello, Mol. She says, what's the big light on for? What are you doing? So can you see? It is many-stranded. How many strands? 8. Looking at that, yeah, 8. So it's got 8 strands, which is lovely, because it obviously, winds together and is perfectly fine to use. However, with some of the fiddlier stitches, I am finding I'm getting things like that. Can you see? I'm getting this. So often I miss one strand of the 8 and they pop up and this kind of stuff. In the big scheme of things, nobody's going to notice. So I am merrily crocheting on and not worrying. The pattern is by Hannah Cross, who is HanJan, HanJan. So she's HanJan on Instagram. She's HanJan Crochet, but she's Hannah Cross. Whether or not Cross is her married name and something else was, or maybe she's Hannah Jane, I don't know, but she's HanJan. I've crocheted quite a lot of her patterns, so I'm used to how she writes patterns. This is a free pattern. Apparently it was in Simply Crochet. I don't know what issue it was in because I didn't get it from there, but she is releasing it on her blog, which is hanjan.com, every fortnight on a Monday. So part 3 came out yesterday, and I have completed part 2. And so we'll be starting part 3 today, tomorrow. I'm finding I'm having to be quite kind of like on the ball, because otherwise it will wander off and I will be left behind. And I don't want to do that. I want to complete this in the 8 weeks. So I think we've done the hard part, which is this first section. So part 1 gets you on my chest. Gets you this bit. It's the way I use my hook, isn't it? This lovely section here, and then it was all getting you used to all the different kind of front post stitches, and there are I use English terms, so doubles and trebles. Trebles, double trebles, and that kind of stuff, which are the very long stitches. These very long stitches. It's getting used to you doing those in a front post way. You're also doing front leg and back leg. Crochet, the stitch that you create has 2 legs. Can you see? That is a crochet stitch. That little yellow thing there is a crochet stitch, and it has a front leg and a back leg. Front leg is the leg that's closest to me, and the back leg is the one that's closest to you. So it has a front leg and a back leg. So when you make a stitch, you go under. Let me show you. This is the problem. Make sure I can go through all multi-strands of this. The other thing is I keep going tight on my edging, and it makes it a pain to get under. Can you see I've gone under both? I've gone under both legs there, and that is a normal stitch. You go under both legs, but what you can do is you can go under front leg or back leg. So let me go under front leg. So can you see I've gone under? So that front bit is closest to me, and that back leg is closest to you. So it has 2 legs, and with crochet, normally most stitches you go under both, but you can, for decoration, go under front or back. Okay, so I went under front, and so the stitches sit at the back, but we get this decorative edge on the front. Can you see? So from the back, it's a solid line of edging, of bright yellow edging, and from the front, it has this decorative pattern. So that's one of the reasons why you do front and back leg. And that's what it means, front. It's either the front stitch, which is the front leg, which is the leg closest to me, and back leg, which is the ones closest to you. So that's why it's just getting used to those kind of stitches. These stitches are front post stitches. And what you do is you go down, you take your yarn and you go down and you hook your hook through a previous stitch off a previous row, and then you come back and do the stitch, and you get these very long stitches that sit on the top of your work because there's none on the back. Can you see that? Yeah. So the stitches are there on the front but not on the back. So it's just a question of getting used to those stitches. And the first part 1 was getting you used to all of those types of stitches and creating this pattern. And then we're building up the spirals now. I'm going the wrong way around. We're building up the spirals now. So that was part 1, 2 and 3. That was part 4, that one there. And that was part 5. And so segment, sorry. So that was segment 4, and that was segment 5, and so we're now doing segment 6 and segment 7, I believe, and it will keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's what I'm doing. I have all my yarn in this tote bag, which I got from the Mountain Warehouse. It's lovely, actually. I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list, which is quite a lovely bag. It's a very nice, I don't know what's this made out of. It's a nice bag. I do like it. It's made in India, apparently. What are you made of? Cotton, it just says. Oh, it feels more than that. Anyway, I have got masses of yarn left. I haven't completed a single ball of yarn left. So I'm down to small. That's my edging. And that's my, so I'm hoping, I'm assuming at some point I'm going to be using a lot of yarn in my stitches, because at the moment I'm going to end up with a lot of yarn left. It'll be 2 for the price of 1 from this. There are different colours packed. I got my pack from Jamore, and I got the Rich Jewels yarn pack. So yeah, that's what I got. Royal Orange, Emerald, Vivid Blue, Electric Blue, Shocking Pink, Hot Red, Yellow Gold. Those are the colours. So yeah, my needle, staring at my ends. My word, my needle. There are a lot of ends. There are a lot of ends because you bind off all the time. So I'm sewing in as I get to one complete circle, one complete row round, and then my edging, I'm then doing all my ends. So I haven't got any ends to weave in at the moment. I'm completely done. So there we are. Ta-da! That's how I'm doing with that. So next week I will have done at least segment 6. I will need to do at least segment 6 to keep up. So there we go. There we go. Ooh. So how are we doing? Right, I have actually got this very big bag of things to show you, which is my, that's nice, in the plastic. Molly cat, why didn't you tell me to take it out? She says, I did. There you go. It's my kimono. It's not a kimono, what is it? I can't remember what it's called. But it's my Home Sweet Home. It's my knit formula to try and create a kimono or a cowl. And I had been working on that. I've been working on that happily over the last couple of weeks. And I've come to a bit of an impasse with it. And I need to talk you through what's happened. I shall give you a teaser, because I'm like that. I shall give you a little teaser of where I'm up to, so you can kind of see what I've been doing. So you can see I have been doing a lot of knitting. Well, I might as well just say it here. So this is what I've been doing. So you knit it in pieces. You knit each individual bit, and then you bind off, and then you put them. You pick up stitches here, there, and everywhere. There is a formula how to create all these different shapes. She teaches you the formula, and then you go and put it together exactly how you want to do it. And of course you choose your own colours, and she suggests doing stripes and then some blocks. So this is what it goes. And I'm using all different types of wools. I'm using up lots of scrap wools. I chose a colour palette, and then I am mixing and matching within that colour palette. Got some gorgeous, look at that. That's that one. Love, love, love that. Some of the wools that I am using are double knit, such as that. That's double knit weight. Some I am using which are fingering weight, and so I'm holding them double. And I'm mixing and matching as I go along. This is one of my DK weights. So I'm mixing and matching. I'm using up quite a lot of my, as I say, my either minis or ends. So it's becoming quite, it doesn't feel completely frivolous. It is quite economical at the same time. And this is what I'm creating. I'm not sure I'm going to wear it. Dun, dun, dun. I suddenly realised I did a very dramatic pause then. Dun, dun, dun. I've got the hair for the dramatic pause. I don't remember who said that to me. You've got the hair for a dramatic pause. Pause. I'm not sure I'm going to wear it. This is my thing. I got to this point and then I thought, are you ever actually going to wear this? Looking at what you wear in your wardrobe, looking at the clothes, so we're transitioning out of winter clothes, aren't we? Because the weather's, well, here we are, the Northern Hemisphere. We're coming out of winter into summer, into spring, and then into summer. And so our clothes are altering, less woolen. However, my colour palette is not altering. I am still wearing the dark colours that I favour. And if I'm left to my own choice every day, which I normally am, I go for dark. I have always liked dark clothes. I've felt like I shouldn't, that I should wear bright colours or different colours. Or did you ever do that colour thing? What was it called? Where you were, you found out colour therapy. Was it colour or Colour Me Beautiful? I think it might have been called Colour Me Beautiful. This is, we're going back years now. 15, 20 years? I think it is 15 or 20 years. And I went to, and it was a real thing where they would put a neutral colour underneath you, and then they'd put all these different colours to see what colour would suit your skin tone. And you were either a summer or a winter, and you were either cool or you could wear hot colours, and you should apparently choose your entire wardrobe out of the colours that they said. And I do think some people do it. I don't know whether people still do it now. It was a real thing. But I was told that with my colouring I should wear pale blues and pale pinks and peaches and kind of very light aquamarine, like that kind of cut, those kind of blues. I should wear those. And peaches, I always remember them saying peach because I remember thinking, I have nothing that is peach. Baby pink, not hot pink, not cerise, baby pink. And I should steer clear of dark colours. I shouldn't wear blacks or purples or dark blue even. I think I could kind of get away with some dark blue, but majority had to be kind of, I shouldn't use brown. That was another one. Shouldn't have that kind of brown. Shouldn't do red tones. And it was very prescriptive. And I think it got into my head, no, you should. And I think also I remember somebody not many years ago saying to me, you wear too much black. And I was like, I beg your pardon? And she's like, you're wearing too much black. I've looked at my wardrobe and I've decided that I realised I wear too much black, and it's because I'm depressed, and so you wear too much black. And I was like, there's many leaps we are going through here. What? So I think you should stop wearing black and you should start wearing browns. And I was like, I haven't got any browns. I've got a lot of black and a lot of blue. And so what happens is, to match that, I wear black and blue, because that's the colour, because, you know, you can't keep buying I can't keep buying. I'm not going to keep buying entire outfits. And I'm 40. I am 45, by the way. And it wasn't that many years ago. And I remember another friend of mine, one of my soul sisters, was actually there when somebody was saying to me. Oh, she was stood behind her going, and I remember thinking, that face is how I am inside. And I was going, oh right, okay, thinking, I'm never going to do that. Nope. And I just think, no, wear the colours, wear what makes you sing inside. Is that the whole thing with the Marie Kondo thing about, does this bring you joy? I've watched the Netflix Pro series, and yes, I did start folding things in a different way, and it does work actually. But isn't it just kind of what brings you joy? Is what makes you gravitate towards the same things, because either they make you feel good, or you like the way they look on you, or it says something about you, or when you look in the mirror, you're pleased with what you see. I mean, that's a bonus, isn't it? And so I like black. I like dark colours. And now I've just got to the stage where I'm going, sorry, that's just what I'm going to wear. And if it doesn't suit me in the way that you think it should suit me, but it makes me happy, you know, it's me that goes through the day. So, yeah. Anyway, this is a long way of telling you. I thought, by choosing the colours that I have chosen, the dark blues and the purples, that I would like it. I had originally thought about using blacks, but I didn't have many blacks. But I did have dark blues, and I bought some purples and I bought some greys to go with it. And I thought, yeah, okay, so that I am choosing the colour palette that I really like, so it will go together. I just wonder whether I will ever wear it because of the pattern. I don't know. I don't know whether I can see myself wearing it. Looking at it like that, it doesn't look that bad actually. It looks quite nice. And so I've done kind of 2 front panels really. I'm starting working, if I was to carry on with it, I would start, this would be, I can't see, this would start going into my sleeve. I'm starting doing the shoulder bit. I'm kind of starting to wrap round. It's seamless, as in you, it's a seamless construction, as in you're picking up stitches all the time. So I don't particularly. So I would almost start doing the sleeves and to start wrapping over around the back. So you can see I've done the two front bits. I've got a seam down here that I don't particularly love. It was one of the first ones I did. But again, looking at that there, it looks fine. In person, it's a bit messier, but actually it looks all right, doesn't it? I don't know. I don't know whether to continue it. I'm at that kind of tipping point of, am I going to make something? Am I going to have devoted hours and a lot of yarn in making something that I'm not going to wear? And is that worth it? Is this something that I'm ever going to go, oh yes, and wear it a lot and feel proud of it, feel pleased and proud of myself? Is it part of my personal style? I'm not sure it is. I'm not sure I would ever wear something that's that patterned. Not that I don't think it looks nice, I just don't know whether I would ever reach for it. So yes, I said I wasn't going to talk to you about it, but I am. I have 2 progress keepers on me. I have that one that says RS, so it tells me which is the right side. And when I'm doing, oh God, no, postman, quite a handsome postman as well. Ring twice next time. And he's gone. I frightened him off. So that tells me that. So which, when I'm doing, I'm in the middle of doing short rows, especially with kind of short stripes. Sometimes you kind of go, huh? Which am I doing? right or wrong, and it's whether you have to pick up or decrease. You have to pick up and increase or decrease or whatever. You need to know which side you're on all the time. So I'm finding my right side. And then that is a little progress creeper that I got with one of the wools. And again, it tells me where I'm working, which direction I'm working in. So I am actually using these to let me know where I am and what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm using all, I can't go through all the different types of wool, but I don't know. Tell me, what do you think? Be honest. It would be a lot to pull back, but it would be a lot longer if I was to make it and then look at it and go, am I ever going to wear that? Really? And I'm having doubts. I'm having doubts. That's what it is. I love some of these wools. I absolutely love some of these wools. I love that one. Oh, I love that one. I love that grey. That's Melda's Delights that I bought down in Cornwall. That's Stranded Dye Works. I love that blue, which I'm holding together with Mettlesome from Stranded Dye Works. I like that. Oh, so some bits of it I really like, but I don't know. I don't know. That's Mettlesome. It's lovely. So I like the colours and everything, but I just don't know. I don't know. I'm wondering. There's no rush. It's not like I have to do it by a week on Tuesday. But it's one of those things. I don't like having too many projects sitting, and I want to know if I am going to do it. So it's sat in here in my Grocery Girls plastic bag, which is very handy actually. It's got the Grocery Girls who have their podcast, Jodie and Tracy. It's their plastic bag. Let me show you the design. Might be better. There you go. See the design better. When I opened it, this was a kit they did at Christmas. I was not entirely sure about the bag, but this has been so handy. I quite love it. So yeah, that's my Grocery Girls candy cane bag. So there we go. Oops. There we go. So that's what I am mainly working on. I haven't, knitting wise, I'm not really working on anything at the moment. Crochet wise, I'm working on this, and I'm working on my mandala. And those are the two projects that I'm concentrating on. I want to finish the baby blanket by end of April, because I will then have enough time to make a little matinee jacket or a little toy. I quite often make these long-legged giraffes for babies because they're handy to hold. They're good to hold ones. And again, I use acrylic yarn so it can get thrown in the wash. I don't use safety eyes. I just embroider eyes on them. Cat's just attacking the furniture. Molly. Miss Molly. So yes, I haven't got any new yarn to show you because I haven't bought any yarn because I've got enough of it. But this was the yarn that my friend gave me in a swap. And this is a cotton. I can't remember why she bought it, but she doesn't like using cotton, but this is 100% cotton. So I'm going to make some dishcloths and some face cloths with this and make little scrubbies and that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to show you it. I think she said it was something like Seascape, and I think it is Stylecraft. I think it is Stylecraft. It's quite nice, isn't it? I thought that'd be nice for the bathroom. I'll make some of those. And actually for teachers' gifts, I make those and then get a little soap, a fancy soap from Lush, and those. That might be, again, that's crocheted. So I've got lots of little crochet stuff going on. And there we go. There we go, friends. I think we will leave it here because I have been going on quite a while. I'm actually getting a bit chilly. Could be time for a cup of tea and a hot cross bun or maybe a piece of shortbread. I think we might be at that stage. I'll go around and get everybody's orders for teas and coffees, and I will put the kettle on, see if anybody else wants another glass of wine. I hope you are well. I hope you've been having a good last couple of weeks, and I hope you don't mind that I took a couple of weeks off. I knew you wouldn't, really. I knew you wouldn't. I knew that the kind of people that come and sit and listen to me wibble on are the kind of people that would want me to be okay. And the cat is now attacking. Let me see if I can show you her. I don't think I can. She's looking magnificent. Let's see if we can turn around. Oh. I can't see. There we go. A feisty cat. If you want to come and sit there, you'll have to deal with a feisty cat who's ripping up the instructions of the light box. Luckily, I don't need him anymore. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Molly. So there we are. My candle has gone out. Our candle has gone out, and so I shall take this opportunity to go now. And I will say this has been lovely. This has been absolutely lovely. It's been lovely to sit with you again, and I look forward to sitting with you next week. And I hope you have a lovely week. Thank you so much for coming for Tuesday Knit Group, and I look forward to speaking to you in the comments.